What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. Friday afternoon, we are out here playing with the Malibu once again, and I don't have a ton of time, so I think what the goal is for this afternoon is to mount the deck lid. So it should just go and bolt right on. Obviously not that big of a deal. To make life easier, I took the fuel cell out, and then I will just slide it in place and kind of fit it back here where I think it looks good. And then we'll get underneath and just zip these guys down, and then we'll open it and see if that works out. The reason I had it off was because we did all that work that was in the trunk. But now I feel like I was debating on doing like struts to hold the trunk up, but that thing's pretty heavy. And I don't think you can really beat a trusty stick, right? But I don't want like a normal stick where you put it in there, because I'm afraid to like be in a hurry or doing stuff and you whack the thing and then you get a trunk lid to the dome, right? So we're not trying to do that. So I'm thinking if we put that in there, obviously we could prop it up, then we'll kind of look and see what we got. But I'm thinking some sort of like little foldable deal that like kind of stays in the car, kind of like a hood prop, but from a deck lid. And then we'll make it kind of connect in there somehow to where like even if you banged it, hopefully nothing's coming down on your Coco. So we'll mess with that to put that on. We'll get that bolted down so I can save my back from lifting this thing on and off and on and off like we've been doing for quite a while. And then if we get that kind of sorted, I'd like to maybe put, you know, the shocks and start putting some of the stuff under the rear end. I believe that we can put this thing on the ground and then hopefully maybe this weekend spin it around and start looking at stuff up on the front end that we need to get done. But first things first, don't get ahead of ourselves. Also, big shout out and thank you to every single person that reached out with all the merch stuff. I got some rad art for the Bago and for the Boom, so we're gonna bring some stickers, and you guys gave me lots of cool ideas as well. And then we're even gonna open it up for donations. So in the video, link in description is my PayPal Venmo. So just hit that up. I mean, if you don't wanna deal with the hassle of trying to buy stuff or wait for stuff or whatever, or maybe you wanna do both, or maybe you don't wanna do any of it at all and you don't care if we make it to race week or not, but I do. So I appreciate all of you guys. Let's put this deck lid on and get this thing kind of put back together. All right, coming in hot. Woo. Hopefully, if this goes well, it's gonna be one of our last rodeos having to screw with that thing. We are under the car with the Delphi, and I can actually sit up. Makes this a lot easier than we should. Let's be able to do one of those. Hopefully. And then that thing's a little proud on the outside, so I don't know. I'm wondering maybe if I pulled this down or something, cut the brace off, but we'll see. We'll zip this down, and I think, yeah, I can reach that side over there too. So let me zip it down, and then we'll jump out, see if we can get it to open up. All right, we adjusted it a bit, and then also the paint job lines up. So, yeah, pretty poor fit for the most part. But again, this isn't a show car, this is a go car, and it needs to just open and shut. So, moment of truth. Another easy way to check so I know this should open is it's not like wedged in there, so I think we're okay. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh geez, well, you get the idea. Let me find something to prop this thing up, and then we'll kind of look at like a hood prop, trunk prop deal. But I'm happy with that. I'll just make sure these are zipped down. We'll call that a win. I did what any self-respecting slop would do, and he grabbed the broom because it's the easiest thing that we got. And then there's a hole here, so we do have a little bit of safety, which is awesome. So dig around in the scrap. I have stuff here. This is too thick, and then this is like ultra thin tubing, you know, so I just don't know if that'll be rigid enough to hold it up. So that's a possibility. This is too thin. That's just some like little rod. Nothing there. And then if we cruise over here, these are all my squirrel spots where I squirrel stuff away. I got some square tubing. This guy. Ooh. Let me see. Let's see what we got. Ooh, look at these boys. Oh, these might. Ow. Watch your back. These might be the jam. So this is some thin wall square tubing, but yeah, that seems pretty rigid. It's pretty light too, so that might be the ticket. If not, we got solid boy here. So okay, let me kind of dream it up and see what I can come up with. But essentially I just want like a hood prop. Pick it up, and then the stick needs to go in there somehow, but the stick needs to stay. That's the key here. I don't want it to just sit in some pocket or whatever. If the wind blew and caught it, I don't want the deck lid to open more and the stick to fall out and bad things to happen. So let me mess with it a bit and figure out how we get the stick to stay. I dug around a bit more and I found this in one of my drawers, and it actually had like another end to it. So it's a Heim, but it's kind of like a high action one. And then I have my square tube, and then of course, you know, you got to mess around. So I have this contraption, and I was looking at it and I was thinking maybe if I captured this, it can just swing down off the deck lid and boop, go into like a pocket, or I haven't figured out the bottom portion of it yet. But I will say this, I should have just left those little spring guys on there because it would have worked, but I took them off because of the tension, and when I cut everything I didn't know what it would do. So I hate springs, and I should have just taken them off and saved the stupid rods, and they could have just laid here in the dirt and we could have put them back on. So this is definitely kind of going backwards in my opinion, but we're gonna use the stick. So let me play with this a bit more. If I come up with any other bright ideas, I'll share them with you. If not, we'll make some little tabs that will house this, and this will be the stick, I think. So let me keep playing with it. We'll bring you back when I finalize an idea. Sometimes you just gotta try something. So I ended up finding a male, right? So this is another Heim joint, but it doesn't have the side-to-side action the other one had. So we got these little spacers on this one, and then I put some washers in between. So the idea here is I just got 3 washers, and then we're gonna put a little flat spot on either one of these, and then we'll tighten this to clamp it together to keep it square. And we're gonna weld it, right? So that's gonna make me this little U-shaped mount with the flat spots, and then this guy. So then what I can do then is I'll have the 2 pieces to capture it, and this will bolt through to the deck lid on the trunk. So that is my idea. This is a quick and dirty, simple thing, and I just had stuff laying around. So let's put some flat spots, stick this to it, we'll see how it looks. And sometimes you just have to do stuff, or you're gonna waste all day trying to reinvent the wheel. So let's flat spot these, tack this up, and see if it looks like a decent mount. Dun, 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 dun. All right, there it is. So basically just 2 washers, we just gooped them together. I know the welds are fantastic. You can leave a comment if you'd like, but it'll do what it's supposed to do. And then now it has a bolt through, so we can just bolt that dog in. And then I actually left those extra washers in here, so there's a space, so this thing's not tight. So we'll use a nylock, but that gives me a lot more range of motion on this thing for storage purposes. So let's go figure out, maybe I can clamp this thing down or something, and we'll get an idea of how long of a stick we need. The idea actually works for the most part. So we just drilled a hole, put the dude in there, and if you're wondering why I have the Heim, when I pick this up, this thing can move, right? So I'm hoping that when we pick it up, we can move it, and then I'll just do some sort of magnet deal to wherever this lands, so you can just stick it there. So when you open the trunk, you can push it open with one hand, grab it down, and then we're gonna have to make some sort of pocket, poop, to mount that in. It won't do this. That to me isn't safe. So I'll be able to weld it, make some sort of bracket or pocket or something. But I was also looking, this is a little short. I'd like it to go a little higher than that. So I think we're gonna go with the light tubing, and I feel like if we cut it down short enough, it should structurally be fine. We're not putting a crazy load on it. Hopefully the thing doesn't like taco and pin me in my trunk when I'm working on stuff at some point. But let me get a length. I'm thinking like 4 inches longer, and this is kind of what I eyeballed. We'll set the camera down. I'll get a better length dimension, and then this heim joint will fit right in that, and it's kind of like we had enough stuff laying around to make it happen, Captain. All right, sun's going down, moment of truth. Let's put some boogers on here. We can do a little bit better job and clean it up and make it look sophisticated. But, well, that's basically welded on. We got this guy. We can reshape that too, but I just want to see if the idea works, and then obviously we got to weld this. So it won't be finished, but I think you guys are going to get the idea. Then I don't have to beat you up with a long video on making something simple. So, slide it in here, pick it up, move it over. We did it, boys. So, everything's still hot. But yeah, there you go. So slides through there, welded to that. I bounce on it. Like, it moves a bit, but it is what it is. I think that'll be fine. And then this guy here, and then my thought is, let's go see if my actual thought is gonna work out. I think I got, let me see. Okay, I got a big magnet here. This is a neodymium. So my thought is to put this away. We'll swing it over and stick it somewhere over here. So let's try that. I can't do it with one hand because this won't stay. I'm gonna have to work on that hole size. This thing's tight. Alright, so let's just say everything went smoothly, and then put it over. Oh, then we have my magnet over. Magnet gun needs to be something like that, right? So I think that'll work. Let me show you guys that real quick. So I think it works. I think that'll work out. So we can get like neodymiums or whatever and stick them up here, some big dogs, and then it should just hold that up, and that's all it has to do. Technically it doesn't matter if it kind of came off of there, and the other reason I put it on this side is because my electrical's over there, you know, so if this started flopping around, it's really not going to do anything except be annoying. But I think we're good. If we get this all tightened down, buttoned up, maybe take a little meat off of that so it's not this big old honking mamma jamma to catch myself on, but I think for the most part it's fine. And that is it. We'll get some better magnets and kind of clean this thing up so it's not just boogers that are holding it, and we'll work on this angle of the dangle. But that is it. I think that we have a successful hood prop. Way more effort than it should have been. I should have kept a little twisty, guys. I know that all you guys are going to say that in the comments, and I completely agree. And this is probably way over engineered for what it is. I mean, I was just envisioning putting a stick in there. I don't know how we got carried away, but that's life in the fast lane. You guys, you know what to do. Thank you for following along. Thank you for all the support. Like, subscribe, share. Till next time, I'm out.